how to use the apply filter in Affinity Photo to combine images, layers, as well as text, gradients, as well as shapes. PC or Mac. Select a layer, go to Filters and Apply Image. You've got three options. You can load source from file, you can use the current layer as a source, and also you can drag any layer to this panel and use that. Go to the first button, Load Source from File. Click there, and then select a file. It can be anything, grayscale, colourful design, text, anything. Then select this file, JPEG file, and click Open. And as soon as you do that, you can see it replaces the existing image. Still there. But you can also see down here, you've got scale horizontally to fit, as well as vertically. And if I deselect that, you can see what happens. Just down here, you can see it has scaled it. It's probably best just to scale it. Depends on the size of image. If you've got a 4000 by 4000 and you're using like a 20 by 20, the result might be pretty bad. So click there. You've got this load from here. You can go here, blend mode. In many ways, this is very similar to just going to the layers panel and using blending modes. The results can be the same, but it's a great way of combining multiple images. You can also repeat very quickly and a lot more. So blend mode, you can go down here and say darken. So as you do that, you can see what happens. It blends the two images. So go for lighten, you can see the result there. Screen, color dodge, add lighter color. So I go for color burn. I'm going to select one of the blend modes. And you can also change the opacity. So you can say, oh, I don't want it to be there, so you can just fade it away. So the image that you've loaded fades away. So at 0, you can't see it at all. Put it to 100%, you can see the blend between the two. You've also got another really useful option at the bottom. You've got equations, and you can use equations for all of these different possible things. You've got this option as well as the drag option. You can use equations. So click there, equations, and you can see you've now got RGB, and you've got SR, SG, SB, and SA. Now, if you want to, you can put 0 there in the DA. That's the alpha channel. So you can see through to the other channel very quickly just by entering 0. If you want to be solid, just enter 1. Values 0 to 1 and anything in between, so 0.5. You can also go here and put SR. That's the source red and the destination red. So what you've got at the moment is red equals the red. Well, you can go around and say, oh, plus 0.2. So you can make it slightly, just slightly redder. You can also go times 1.1, so again, slightly redder, but this time it's multiplied. You can also go SR and the value there minus 0.5. So you can make obviously darker there, obviously just in the red channel. And you can go through all of them. Don't have to use, so SG 0.5 minus 0.5. Again, making it darker. SB minus 0.5, much darker, all the way through. And also, you can still go through here and use these blend modes, say darken. But you've also got other equation color spaces as well. And that's really useful. Go here, grayscale. So instead of using it as a colorful design, you might decide grayscale. And you can combine them in many different ways to create some really fascinating black and white images using this approach. You don't get obviously any more, you just got one channel. I'm not certain why that wasn't DG and SG, but they've gone for I. Anyway, so plus 0.2, so you can make it brighter. 0.4, you see it brighter again. Or go the other way, minus or divide. So divide it, obviously divide it by 2, making it a lot darker. You've still got the alpha channel as well, so divide by 3. And you can see the result again there. You can see it still, but it's faded away a bit. And you've still got other ones as well, CMYK and also Lab. So you've got a lot of colour options to play with. So SL plus 0.4. Or maybe go for SA, the lowercase, minus 0.2. And it's all between 0 and 1. Just going to go back to RGB. So RGB, you can go here and you can say SR plus SG. So you can bring in the green and the red together, combine them there, as well as still using these. Colour burn, screen, just run through those. You can see now you get different results there. Or you can go plus SB. So you can average it out. So just put their bracket around that and then divided by 3. So the red channel is the average of the red, green and the blue. Then you can go to the green and do minus SR. So the result is green minus the red. And once you're happy with your design, click apply. You can also use the current source layer. Just here, use current layer as source. Click. Obviously you don't have to scale horizontally, it's the same. You think, well, what's the use for that? Well, you can go here, blend modes. You can go through darken, multiply, colour burn, linear burn, colour dodge. But not only that, you've got equations as well. So you've got this, you think, I want it to be slightly greener. So equations, put that on, go to SG and DG and put plus 0.3. So you can just tweak it just very subtly, 0.1 or 0.01, very subtle changes. Maybe you decide I want the red channel to be a combination of the red and the blue, so plus SB. Or maybe you decide I want to fade it away a bit of transparency there. You can just say 0.2 for the alpha channel. So now you can see that gradient just below that layer. And you can always put it back to 1 or just keep it as SA. So you've got SA there. And that's using current layer as source. You can also use other layers. You don't have to just use the top layer. You can select this one, this gradient one here. Now you can't see it, of course, but if you could see it, so I'll just go up here and I'm just going to change the blend mode. So let's just make it multiplied. Let's run through it. Difference. Let's just go for difference. So you can see the gradient below. Well, now I can select this pixel layer. With that selected, I can use current layer as source. So click there. And this time I can run through color burn, hard light, soft light. So I can tweak this layer. Maybe go for 0.7. Just change it. This is not modifying the top layer. So again, I can change that, maybe go for difference or exclusion and click apply. And you can see the result there. The change has been made to that gradient layer, not to this background layer. Obviously the result is different because you've got difference there. If I put that back to normal, I've still got exactly the same as I had before. The only layer that's been changed is the gradient layer. And it will be the same with the other layers as well, the ellipse, etc. There's also a third option. You can drag any of these layers and use it as a source. We'll point out that sometimes it goes wrong. I don't know why, but running through these tutorials, trying them out, sometimes I can drag things over and it ignores the result. You can try and change blend mode, you can change the equation, color space, nothing. Absolute nothing. Best result then, just cancel and retry it. It's just one of those things, for some weird reason it seems to fix in a particular way and doesn't see it. But you can use any of these layers and if it works really well. So again, I'm just going to go here to pixel. You need to select a layer. Obviously you could select that layer as well. You can select anyone. This one's an ellipse with a halftone effect. This one's some frame text. You can select that. You can also modify them as well. So I'm just going to select this one and just drag. And as soon as you drag it over, the blend mode becomes active. So you can change blend mode now. But of course, at the moment, I'm still just using this. I need to select this layer. Slightly confusing as that other one, that's obviously the chief, but it's, anyway, does slightly confuse times, and quite often I end up working on this and I'm thinking, that's strange, why isn't anything changing? Even though you think it should, you need to select it before it changes it. So make certain you go back here. I've confused myself many a time by just still being on the wrong layer. Worth remembering. And that sometimes could be the problem. Also, if you hide it, that's another thing. Sometimes if you hide them and you forget to unhide, then you suddenly find the same problem. You can run through this colour burn. You can see what happens. You've got the gradient there. As you go through it, difference. But I'm going to go with normal at this point because the reason is I can go to equations and that will change the equation. This gradient changes. So if I go here, SR plus 0.4, it becomes redder. If I put minus 0.4, it will become bluer because the red channel is decreased. And I can manipulate the others. So SB plus SG. Also, I can go SB plus DG, the result of there. So you can see the result. So my dad comes back into the image because I've added DG. If I just put SG, the source, it's obviously going to be using the gradient. The result uses the combination of this as well, the top layer. So you can combine it in multiple, and you've still got grayscale. So you can go there and put minus 0.5, or obviously you could put minus DI, though that becomes obviously a negative. And you can then use blend modes again and run through that. You can create all kinds of weird combinations, or maybe DI times 0.2 and create that sort of result. So literally millions of possible equations. Unfortunately, there's no presets. I would love to see a presets feature here where you could store them. I would love to see an image feature here where any of the layers you've selected, or source images or current layer, just a little photo there, just a little thumbnail, just showing that. That would be brilliant. Make it easy to know what you're actually working with. Because sometimes you might have 15 gradient layers. Which one are you working with sometimes? You don't know after a while. You select that one, you think, oh, was it the one I was working with, or was it that other one? Who knows? So you can go through that, and you can also, if you want to, select a different layer. Personally, I always come out of it. But you can select this one, go down here, and drag that one into there. And then go back to this one, and you can see the result then. But I found occasionally it also seems to have the same problem. It just ignores it. It keeps the gradient. Not certain why, but there seems to be the occasional glitch where it does that. And you can run through these again. You've got here lighten, so you might always prefer just to cancel and then come out. And you can run through that. And you can use also the frame text as well. That's another option, or text. And probably pattern layers, probably loads of other ones can all be combined in this. And again, you've got these blend modes. You've also got other options down here with equations. You can turn that off as well and just see the result there. Hard light and there. And click apply. Apply image is like any other filter. You can repeat it. Sometimes very useful because you can go to filters and repeat apply image. And you create a different result. Creates nice thin lines across using that halftone effect there. You can also fade it, fade the result. So let's undo that. You can go to layer and fade apply image. And with that, you can run through all the fade options. So you've got here darken, multiply, color burn, all of them, screen. Just try them out and click apply. You can also modify the source layers. You can go to this one, this is the ellipse, and you can go here and you can resize it, rotate it, all those things. You can't have the apply image panel open at the same time. You can also click convert to curves, and you can go over here to the node tool. So with the nodes there, you can see you can modify it. You can create a variety of different designs. Just drag that out. You can also expand this out, go to the halftone, double click that, bring up the panel, and you can modify the cell size. Now I can't see it, but you can always hide these other layers if you want. I'm just changing it, tweaking the values, and I can make it line. Let's just go with line and close it. And as you do that, you can actually see the result here. And of course what you can do then is you can go back, select that background layer, go to filters, apply image, go there, I'll select it again and drag over here. Then select this and then you can see the design. As I said, there's a few steps involved in changing things, but you can see the result there. And then you can go through this and again, change linear burn, lighten, screen and other settings, overlay and click apply. And again, repeat and so on. You can also use text, any type of text, frame text, artistic text, text, different colours, different fonts, text on circles, text on anything, whole load of different text. It can also be still live text. So you can always tweak it. You can always tweak it later. Unfortunately, you can't tweak it while you're using the apply image. That's the only thing you have to come out of it. Well, it will just disappear. The panel will disappear if you try and change the text. You go to that and try and manipulate it. Select the text and drag. And as before, the blend mode becomes active, so you know the text has been accepted. If it doesn't become active, then it's not going to work. At this point, obviously I need to select this layer, the top layer, and you can see the text. It's just made up of filler text. Very basic filler text. And you can do exactly the same as before. Go through the blend modes, darken, multiply, run through them. Colour burn, lighter colour, and you can see the result as that changes. Not much difference from just using it, say, with the layers panel. But the reason is, this is right down the bottom. You'd have to, how would you do that? You'd have to bring it up to the top, manipulate it using that. So in this case, this is really, really useful, just using this apply image. Also, you've got equations. As before, you can always go here. Now, as soon as you do that, you'll notice what happens. You will see through, there's transparency involved. It goes through and you'll see the gradient below. Now, if you deselect that, you'll see that shape below. Deselect that, you'll see, obviously it goes through all the way through to the frame text, which is the same thing. So I'm just going to keep them all active there and go back to that layer. Make certain you go back to that layer. So you can still see that, but you can also see that gradient. You might not like that, but that's just how it works. And that's if you go with equations. If you don't go with equations, it works like this. As soon as you click equations, you'll see that. And also you've got grayscale, you've got all the same settings, and you can manipulate it in the exact same way as before. So SR plus SG. So you can put that, or plus DG. And you can tweak it. Sometimes it's easier to see if you've got, say, normal. You can run through this, maybe SG minus 0.4. Now, because it's red, the text, obviously it's going to result is going to be probably going to be red. But you can always go, let's go SR minus 0.6. So you can see you can reduce it down. It makes a difference. And again, you can go through here. So now you can see you've got text that's blue. So you can run through these. Equations, really useful. You might not want to use them because of the result of that weird gradient, seeing the gradient. Up to you. And click apply. As before, you've got exactly the same things. You've got here filters and repeat apply. And you can see what happens. It slightly gets just a bit brighter then. Apply it a couple of times. At some point, sometimes you can create some very weird combinations using this. I've had a few times where I've suddenly noticed the text seems to shrink because it's been reduced down by the combination of the text and the image. And also you've got exactly the same layer and fade apply image, and you can use that. So just run through, darken, multiply, dark cut, linear burn, and just try out different options there as well to create a variety. And of course you can just go back and then combine this as well. You don't have to just use text, you could use multiple text. As mentioned, you can go to this text layer, just go down there. Now, I can't see it, but you can see obviously the bounding box. And I can just change it, manipulate the size, just rotate it, just something. I could change the colour as well. How successfully, I don't know when I can't actually see it. Yep, there are, just selected it. Now, of course, I could hide all the others. That would be more sensible. But you can see you can make it blue, and I assume it's blue now. I can't see the preview. There's no preview there. So I've got that. And as before, you can go here, back to the original image there, the top layer. You can go to Filter and Apply Image. And again, if you want to drag it in, just go down there. It's a pity you have to keep doing that. That's a slight awkward thing, but you can just drag it over and that's the modified text now. Again, go back there and now you can see you've got your combination text there. So it's now that angle and it's in blue. I could have changed the font as well. That's another option. As before, you can just go with here, darken, multiply, color burn, run through it. Maybe go to equations and you'll get the same as before. You get this grayscale where it cuts through the image. And you can see, obviously, the original photo just about with the text blending together. And then SR minus 0.3. And then maybe SB plus 0.4 and so on. So you can tweak things, change different options there and so on. And click apply. End result. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Any questions, please let me know. Always great to hear from you. Maybe something I've done wrong. Maybe there's features of apply image that you think, why didn't I touch on that subject? Why did I completely ignore this or that? Please let me know in the comments. Always great to know what I should have done. Any questions? Comments. Thank you much.